Everybody's favorite streamer, Johnny Somali, has really dug himself a massive hole in South Korea and could be facing some serious jail time.
Was for the Korean and the Chinese people.
And yes, I'm joking about everybody's favorite streamer, and if Johnny Somali is your favorite streamer, then I think you should probably go get your brain checked out. But if you guys are not invested into the Johnny Somali lore, I'll give you guys a quick little rundown. Basically, Johnny Somali is a streamer who streams himself going around to different countries and just acts like the biggest nuisance of all time. Like, he'd be doing some really just flat out moronic things. For example, at the beginning of 2024, he was in Japan and was going around shouting Hiroshima and Nagasaki to the Japanese locals and was just saying some really wild things.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki!
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you know what we do to you? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, we destroy it because you just don't know how to. I swear to God, you do again, we're gonna do again. You understand? You understand, Hiroshima?
Like, he is literally at the top of the food chain when it comes to being a complete degenerate and moron. Well, recently, Johnny found himself in South Korea where he, had to keep up these antics. He first sparked public outrage in South Korea because he streamed himself going up to a statue called the Statue of Peace, which, if you guys don't know, it is a monument that is literally for victims of sexual slavery. And he was performing, very inappropriate actions on the statue. Like, bro was literally, twerking on the statue and just doing some really other disgusting things to a statue that has such significant meaning like that one does. And then after Johnny did this, basically Korean streamers began to literally stream snipe Johnny IRL and just beat the brakes off of him. Like, they were literally bounty hunting Johnny Somali, which, I'm not one to say that, violence is the answer, but I think in this case we can all be like, okay, maybe, he could have deserved it. He probably deserves it. He also went to a Korean corner store. I think it was a 7-Eleven, and he just started crashing out, and he was just, throwing noodles all over the store and blasting music and just being super annoying. Like, he's one of those text-to-speech IRL streamers, and he just lets his chat play racist audios while, walking around the streets of whatever, country he's in.
What are you talking about?
안 된다고요. 소주 안 된다고.
Shut up,
police?
call the police, stupid ass.
But anyway, the South Korean parliament got involved, and Johnny Somali was first facing charges of narcotics use, which in South Korea, it is a crime that comes with a maximum penalty of 10 years in jail. But then, if that isn't bad enough, Johnny Boy did something even worse. He was basically streaming with a different Korean IRL streamer, and then he used deep fake AI to depict that streamer making out with him. And once the streamer he was streaming with saw the deep fake AI makeout sesh, she went to the police to file a report, but then she later on decided, not to press charges. Because if I'm not mistaken, she also did some kind of weird things while they were streaming. I think she was calling him some racist names and stuff like that, but that's besides the point. And also, for those of you who don't know, in South Korea, they have pretty serious laws on using deepfake AIs, especially in a sexual manner. Because in South Korea, anyone who possesses sexually explicit deepfakes of other individuals could literally face up to 7 years of jail time. And now, even though the streamer who he deepfake AI'd, she dropped the charges, the South Korean government was basically like, we don't care if you drop the charges, we are still going after this fool. Oh, I also forgot to mention, when he went to that corner store and started acting a fool, he also got charged with obstruction of business. So Johnny is literally collecting charges like he's, Thanos collecting Infinity Stones. Bro has to just collect all of the charges. This is a shitty game of Pokemon. He's got to have all the charges. But after all of these incidents, Johnny was basically banned from leaving South Korea because, he's facing charges and had a, court date or whatever they do over there. But originally, people speculated that if he, were convicted, that he would face up to 10 years in prison for, all of the heinous things he did while in South Korea. But Johnny being Johnny, he flexed an emergency passport, and he said that he will 100% win his upcoming trial in South Korea, and he will avoid any jail time and swiftly return back to the USA. But this still isn't the end of the Johnny Somali lore. Now, Johnny could be facing up to an additional 7 years in South Korean prison because he reportedly played North Korean propaganda in public. So there's South Korea's National Security Act, especially in the light of his repeated use of DPRK propaganda in public places, both online and in person. And it's a crime in South Korea to promote, propagate, or otherwise disseminate North Korea propaganda. And it wasn't just like it was like a one-time thing. Like he didn't just, play the propaganda music on his Instagram story. Apparently he has played North Korean propaganda multiple times while in South Korea.
This is something that, based on what he put here, can earn him 7 years in jail. Now, you may not be able to read this, but I'll just play it, and you can kind of see by the thing on the bottom there, and imagine what this is. Yeah, I'm not even gonna play the whole thing. That's the North Korean anthem. That's the national anthem of North Korea. Now, in case you don't know, there's something called a National Security Act in Korea, and it is a crime to promote, propagate, or otherwise disseminate North Korean propaganda, etc. in South Korea. Now, look, if he was doing this as a joke once, I would say that they're probably not going to do anything about it, right? Problem is, he has repeatedly done this.
And if things couldn't get any worse, Johnny then went live on TikTok, and he said that if, TikTok banned him from streaming, that he would return to the Statue of Peace. So,
I swear to God, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go back to the statue tomorrow. Wallahi, if they ban this TikTok, I'll go to the statue tomorrow.
Yeah, super wild. But I think that Johnny thought, these charges were going to get dropped or something, or that, he'd win his case. But South Korea really looks like they're pushing this on him, and they're like, yeah, we want this guy to serve some time. Because like I said, he has done some really just heinous and moronic shit while in South Korea, and been super disrespectful and done just some wild shit. But I honestly think Johnny Somali has to be, honestly one of the worst people in the world. Like, there's no way that people actually tune to this dude's stream and, practically pay him to keep doing moronic shit like this. Like, most of it is really not that funny when you watch it. Like, twerking on a statue, it's just some literal degenerate pick-me-ass streamer fucking moment. Like, going around and harassing people and destroying businesses just so that you can get a little bit of clout. Like, he is just something else. That's I think the best way to put it. He is something else, and that's not a good thing. One thing I also forgot to mention while I was editing this video, and I realized that I didn't talk about it, is that Johnny could also face additional charges, on top of the other Infinity Stones he's already collected, because he apparently violated the South Korea Railway Act and the anti-terrorism laws.
나에겐 폭탄이 있다. 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 나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
Sorry.
나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
I'm sorry.
나에겐 폭탄이 있다.
What does it
나에겐
even say?
폭탄이
Oh,
있다.
I don't know.
If you are confused of what was going on right there, remember earlier how I mentioned he's one of those text-to-speech IRL streamers? Well, basically someone donated with the message, "I have a bomb," and it just kept going off just over and over again. Basically, the legal mindset said that stating that he has a bomb is both a public disturbance and anti-terrorism accordingly.
He's, making violent terroristic threats, via the text-to-speech here. So, and you see, of course, the police are following him. They're making sure he leaves.
And under South Korea's anti-terrorism laws, incitement to violence, particularly if it involves racial hatred or threats against public safety, can be considered a terrorist act and carries a max penalty of 7 years in jail. Also, let's mention the Hiroshima and Nagasaki, talking about that on the train or the metro. He was threatening them with that. So, yeah, he probably will face a lot of charges, and maybe he will face a good amount of time in jail, because to be completely honest, he deserves it. But yeah, guys, that is pretty much all of the recent lore on Johnny Somali. I'll make sure to keep you guys updated, so make sure to subscribe with those post notifications on if you are not already, so you don't miss these updates on the Johnny Somali lore. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.